Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of January the 8th through the 14th of 2018. You know, the forward motion continues this week, but before I speak of that, I want to say again that this month will be the last month for not for the weekly tarot guidance, but come next month there will be changes that I'll be making. So check your emails at the mid-month point, somewhere in there. I will be sending out a newsletter outlining how you can see it. It just may not be as available in as many places as you're normally used to seeing it come up. So for this week, the two things that I have here, the first one is on the 10th with Mercury leaving shadow. Now, we already know that we have 0 retrograde planets, so this is a blessing indeed, because it's just like all systems go. And then on the 11th, Mercury will enter Capricorn. So I think everybody is really like on and focused and ready to roll this week. Ready to roll with those changes. There's that, you know, things that were stressful at one time. The universe is just kind of like just wash it away. That's how it feels to me, like just wash it away. Because the blessings are coming. The days, here, the days are growing brighter in the northern hemisphere. So it's a wonderful time, as it continues to do that. But there is much to be celebrated. Some form of success that's coming in, and it's toward your new identity that we're always referring to. Okay, now that's not a set thing. I want to say that, all right, because it's been evolving as time has gone on over these last few years. But you're in a new 5-year cycle here now, and there is so much success that wants to happen. Okay, I'm really truly loving this. All right, the doors, the things that you can manifest, it's all changing between now and April. So there's some very significant, taking advantage of this 0 retrograde thing is a very good thing. Okay, I think choices made carefully. Also, relationships, aligning yourself with people of good moral fortitude. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's here. Okay, because it's always about your reputation, right? What's the saying? You're judged by the company you keep. That's how it feels to me, that type of thing. So I think that there are maybe some new alliances being formed here with relationships as far as that goes. So that's interesting. But, as this month of January continues, there is so much where the universe is really, I don't know if it's your rewards coming in or what it is, but it feels that way. Because I do feel as though the universe is lending a helping hand in more ways than one. It's like if you're paying attention and you've really been putting in the work, I think that it's not like a payoff where, that's it, you've got it, it's yours kind of thing. It's more like you're being given what you need to manifest greater things. So it's more like someone gave you the seed for the money tree as opposed to saying, go pick what you want from the money tree. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like that potential for growth that's there. What a phenomenal thing. Like I said, last week, we don't get this kind of energy coming in that often. Could it be better? I'm sure, there are some things. You have to remember that Mars is still in home sign of Scorpio. That can be very helpful being there for some of you at least. And what an incredible amount of positive energy that's around. Now, as far as, hopes and dreams, wow, okay, we all have daydreams of what we think our life should be like, that wishful thinking type of thing. You know, I do it too. But do they all work out? Not necessarily, all right? And sometimes, things are disappointing. You shed a tear over them and you move on. because I'm seeing that here. The hurt, the disappointment. But that's done. The recovery mode continues. We're in that phase of, what do you do now? How do you take charge of your life the way you want to take charge of it? The vision that you have. Now, we had last week a full moon in Cancer. And at the end of the month, we will have a full moon total lunar eclipse in Leo. There's a lot of power packed between those two full moons. So each week has, I think, events of its own. And, it's just like, this is not a time to be idle, to be on vacation, to not be present, that type of thing. Because I think as you go along, you can deal with each of them. There's definitely, I think, along the way, the necessity to assess things as you go. Like all of your projects, if you have a lot of irons in the fire and things that you're working on, make sure that they're all getting their proper attention and you're expending the right amount of effort for each one. I'm telling you, there is energy that just, it brings you power, like the power of positivity itself. That, when life feels really good. If anything felt like you were being held up, okay, like something you were trying to do was stalled, it's like, bam, that just changes. There you go. What an exciting feeling. I'm telling you, there is just, I feel like constant change that's coming for weeks. Not to mention that next week we will enter into eclipse season. Yeah, okay. So that'll be a good 6 weeks of change coming in and twists and turns that will be happening. The pace just keeps picking up. And that's in spite of if you're somewhere, where it's cold and the weather's bad and, you feel like you're not out as much. Believe me, things are still moving. Things are still happening. And, that brings you to decision points, coming to crossroads. And I feel that it's almost like an 8-week period from the time we went to 0 retrograde planets last week to, like the end of February, where you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? How am I going to move forward? There is definitely no such thing as just sitting still. It doesn't feel right. If there's a, as the new moon is approaching next week, if you're a little uncertain, I'm telling you, it's like the fog is parting. Mercury's leaving shadow. That, we're done with that. So there is just, it's like this, all systems go. Like, let's get going. Let's work on this recovery mode. Let's see how many of your hopes and dreams are still possible. Just because some of those dreams felt like they were dashed by the wayside doesn't mean that they all are. So there is just this, I want to say it's like a surge of, yeah, this week is like eliminating that. What's the word I'm looking for? Detox, okay? And that may be a key word for many of you. As we enter the new year and we're only in the second week, so many people have taken on, whatever, health regimens that are crucial to their vitality, that type of thing. So if you're really sticking with it, the chances are you start to see the benefits and you're starting to feel better. That's a really good thing. That's probably one of the best things that can happen to any of us. But to have this much positive energy around, that it's not holding you back. If you tried last year, you probably didn't get anywhere really substantial or didn't last for very long. The energy now is so much better for any of these things, any of your goals that you wish to reach. I'm telling you, sometimes they're not like, you don't see immediate relief. Let's say you are working on health issues or, some sort of physical fitness thing. I'm seeing that by June, you're feeling much stronger. You're feeling much better. So, wow, most definitely, big change is on the horizon. And, your abundance, I think it's just growing. It's just growing. Are we going to reach a point where, we get a little stagnation again? Probably. That it's not like it's an open road for the rest of our lives or anything like that. But it's definitely, you're in a time frame when you can do and do and do and do in a positive mode and work with the positives that you have in your life, the things that you can make happen. There's so much before you with the choices that you can make. It just feels as though you're so ready to take on the world, so ready to take back your power and make things happen. And this is happening in a very creative way. I am really, really liking this. I can't say enough about all of this energy that's around. You know, it's like nose to the grindstone kind of thing. What do you want to create? You know, for those of you out there, man, it doesn't matter if you have your own business or what it is you're trying to do. You're like looking at every single aspect. How can I make this perfect? How can I work at that? Now, I don't think, I'm going to say it again. You can't get it all done in a day. And you probably can't get it all done in 8 weeks. But you surely are going to try. And there's just so much that's going on, even behind the scenes, okay? Not everybody can see what you're working on and what you're creating. So some things might not be ready to be unveiled this week. Very interesting. But definitely change. Change that's coming. This is like a whole new life that wants to come in. One that feels so much more secure. And I do like that for you a great deal. As far as, you know, I think you know so much better now when it comes to life. Like, all right, that part's just done. I don't need that anymore. I don't want that anymore. I'm going to go look at what else there is. And I think that's coming by the end of the month that you're really thinking about it. Time to move on toward what makes you happy. There's a great deal of energy available for grounding right now. Maybe not the perfect weather for everyone to go outside and, you know, stick their toes in the grass, but definitely whatever you can do to feel that feeling, do it, because it's going to keep you motivated in the right direction. And I think that you're figuring a lot of things out, because like I said, as this started, you know, coming into 2018, it's kind of like, all right, I have a new year in front of me, and where am I headed? And I think each week is a new adventure. It really, truly is. Like, what is going on? Wow, the adventure is just about ready to begin when we get to next week's new moon. What is that going to bring? Well, that will be a new moon in Capricorn when we get there. But, you know, it's interesting because I think you're more willing to take a chance at something that you wouldn't have before, something that, you know, caused you a great deal of worry. So maybe you hadn't wanted to move forward with it. And I think you'll be thinking differently come next week. So that's interesting to see. Now, as far as, wow, see, you're really, really working on your balance, balancing things out. Wow, I can't say that enough. Within your commitments. And that can be many types of commitments. It's not just relationships themselves. Okay. And this brings, I want to say more responsibility, but also some form of good luck. Right. It's almost like saying to yourself, I have to not win the battle, because I feel like you've won the battle over, you know, the last 5 years. You're in the next 5 years. But what you're all about is how to, there's one thing that I think you feel like needs to be changed in your life. Okay. It's an area, see, like when you create a lot of change in your life, as so many of you have, then what happens is all of a sudden you find yourself looking at that one thing. It could be love, you know. You could have fixed everything on the job, around the home, everything else that you wanted to do, and you might be sitting there going, well, you know, I have everything together. I have everything that I want, and I feel very, very fortunate, and I have all this balance coming into my life, but how do I change this feeling of just, you know, because some people will tend to only view that one thing and think that they're trapped and never look at all the other things that they've done. But I think that you realize what you've done And you're wondering, like, what does the future hold? You know, what will it bring? And how long do I have to be patient for that? Wow. You know, it's amazing to me. It really, truly is. There's something going on in March. Okay? We need only to get there. And I don't know why. Because it represents the ability to get to your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. So the actions that you're taking now, all right, if you focus on everything that you have control over everything that you can do, this is the best way that I can put it, all right, because if there is just like one area that's totally out of your grasp that you can't fix, do everything else. That is the most positive thing that I can say to you, because it's going to get you to the next part, which I think by the time all of these actions have taken place on your part and you've created all these changes and worked on all the things, you have a long list, right? So if the thing that has you feeling really stuck is at the top, work on all the others and really work on, you know, like I said, your projects in life, giving equal attention to them. All right. That's going to be important, and you will get there. So I think that, you know, the plan that you really truly need begins to unfold by the time March rolls around. Like, what is this? Because it's like it's come in little mini chapters when you think about it. You know, you are in this new life. You are in this new way of being. So many of you actually, you know, up and moved, changed jobs, did different things, quit jobs, whatever happened. And now it's like, okay, I'm liking where I'm at, but now I'm wondering about this. So see, the list continues, the things that you want and the things that you're hoping for. It's just that it kind of comes in cycles. But I'm seeing here the new moon in March and patience. Okay. So, you know, that's a ways off. And maybe now is the time to start. Do you remember how back in August we started going from new moon to new moon to new moon? And that was when we got into our eclipse cycle. It looks like we're going to do that again. And it's going to start to bring about, as those changes evolve in these next couple of months, that puts us standing and looking at something I feel totally different in April, that we couldn't, I want to say that we couldn't view before. It wasn't within your view, but you're manifesting it and you're learning so much along the way. This is, I'll be honest with you, a wonderful time to be alive if you're paying attention and if you've grown through your experiences and you're ready to move forward with life. So there is just so much that's there. You can't possibly know how it all turns out. And I don't think that you're meant to. But I think that you're meant to know that you're moving forward and you are going to wind up exactly where it is you need to be. Just let the universe help heal those wounds and move you forward. I want to thank you all very much for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.